matches, and I would expect some high scores here in the team final. Both teams going to come out firing. You know, this is for a championship. You don't need any more motivation than that.
Absolutely not. So on the girls' side, Division II, our number 1 seeds, Wittenberg, Burnham Wood, Jocelyn Kruger, Jennifer Schrank, Brooke Breitrick, Jade Kreiser, and Caitlin Stewart are 5 bowlers. And this is the first year for Caitlin, second year for Jade. Looks like 7 years for the other 3. So that's a pretty young team for Wittenberg. And to make it into the finals, leading through qualifying in the finals with 2 girls that have only been bowling for a year or 2, that's pretty impressive. The coaches have got something figured out with this Wittenberg team. So I do believe we're done with the practice. We'll have to clear these scores, and we'll do our team introductions, or the ladies are just going to go.
I believe there was a lane malfunction here for
an extra practice
is what
shot
was
or
going
two
on
there.
down there.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, a couple extra shots going down here for Indian Trail.
I think we will have some interesting things going on in the chat now. Dale Henke out there liking the green and gold. I don't know about that. I mean, that's way too close to Packer colors. Somebody from Michigan, I'm just not sure I can side with you on that one, Dale, but we'll see.
And as usual, the green and gold, the number 1 seed.
Oh, that hurt just a little bit.
You do have a blue and silver team here right in front of you at Waukesha West.
All right, I'm rooting for Waukesha now just for that. All right, I think we're ready now. So Jesse Nelson, 540 ESPN out of Milwaukee. Take it away for team introductions. State championship matches underway here in just a second.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready for our state championship matches here on the girls' side. For Division II, we'd like to welcome back, as they moved on last round, Burlington. And they will be facing Wittenberg Burnham Wood, your number 1 seed. And meanwhile, for Division I, we welcome back the Waukesha West Arrowhead Kettle Moraine program. They'll be taking on the number 1 seed, Indian Trail. Now let me hear you guys. Let's give one big round of applause for all of these competitors. And with that, let your 2015 state championship girls matchups begin.
All right, what an introduction there from Jesse Nelson. Here we go. This is our state championship Division I and II for the ladies.
Both teams now huddling up, I should say all 4 teams huddling up, kind of deciding a game plan, doing their final cheers. This is their last match of the season as a team. You don't need more excitement than that.
How many seniors? We got to see on the bios for Wittenberg. We have a junior, a sophomore, and a couple of freshmen. So, and again, these championship matches are 2-game total pins, just like the semifinals.
Yep.
Bowlers will all bowl 2 frames on each lane. They'll flip-flop lanes for the second game, and total pins will be your winners.
And one thing I've noticed over the years in these late games or late bracket step ladder championship matchups, the coaches tend to take a back seat. If you hover too much, you get the players thinking too much about what they're doing, and that can really rattle your team. So a lot of the coaches, after they make the official introductions and kind of go over things in practice, they will take a step back and just let the bowlers bowl.
Yeah, great point. At this point, there's not a whole lot you can do as long as you get the bowler's right ball in their hand with the right surface.
I mean, you can
count on them to make their shots.
Move a board or two, but you can't change a line or anything at this point. You're in with what you have.
So we'll keep the split screen up. We'll watch both championship matches simultaneously. Division I on the left side of your screen, Division II on the right. Waukesha starts with a spare.
And a strike, meanwhile, in the first frame for Indian Trail. They come back and get another strike here in the D1 matchup. I'm going to make my way over by the D2 matchup and see if I can get a good look at this one. Well, this Wittenberg-Burnhamwood program, the fans are hyped up. They are jumping in the air. They are ecstatic behind you. But Burlington right back at it too now with a strike. They're on both teams in this Division II matchup with a 9 count in the first frame and a strike in the second. Now you see a double here for Wittenberg-Burnhamwood. Green and gold.
You're going to keep pushing that.
Green and gold.
All right. Tell you what, the intensity level in this entire center has just gone up about 7 notches there, getting this final championship match underway. Can't roll that 10-pin out late on lane number 5.
See if Waukesha West can pick up the spare on 3. They don't as it's thrown into the gutter. So that's an 8 spare in the first frame and an 8 open in the second frame for a total of 26. Meanwhile, Indian Trail, they had 28 in the first frame. So they lead Waukesha West 2-frame total in the first as they have 28, now 48 in the second after a spare in the third.
Anybody out there that is watching live on the internet on your smart device or on your laptop, this is also mobile. There's a mobile app for it. If you go to livestream.com, the App Store, or anywhere else, you can download that and take us with you on the road. And also hit that share button to help get this out there with all the different Wisconsin bowlers and high school bowlers, bowling fans across the country. Let them know there's some live bowling right here from Boulevard Lanes. And man, I can almost not hear myself talk back here. This is pretty intense.
Pretty
this is
rough,
awesome.
Isn't it? You can't hear yourself think when you're out on the lanes either. I had never envied any of the parents or fans that came to these events. I always was perfectly content to be down here. And you can see that because I just wandered down here right now, too.
But I tell you what, as a bowler, this is a situation you want to be in. You want to be up there in the 10th frame, the championship match, the final frame to throw a strike for your team to win. That's what all these bowlers can actually dream about and have their chance to live it out here today.
Trying to get a different vantage point here all the way on the far left side as I'm almost even with the approach.
Burlington is stuck with that sub they put in at the end of game number 1. She's still the 5-10 bowler here in this championship match. Not sure what they saw, but they made the adjustment, and it's going to keep working for them.
You know, the Wittenberg-Burnhamwood program, I'm not sure any of these other teams so far have matched the energy that they've brought out here. They are just pumped up. They're jumping up and down, giving high fives. They've got a fan right behind you, Craig, that's got his face painted, and he's almost. You better watch out. You're in the strike zone there. He might punch you in the face. He's so amped up for this thing.
We better have to get security ready. This could get pretty intense here. Great stuff. Waukesha 45 in the third after an open in the second, spare in the fourth. Oh, they missed that 7-pin. I'm sorry. Didn't quite see that around the coach.
You even fooled me because I couldn't see the 7-pin from my vantage point. I'm moving around now.
So 54 in the fourth. They are down 34 pins early in that match against Indian Trail.
You never want to be down more than 40 or 50 at the most in one of these. You can make up 30, 40 pins, I think, if you get hot, but 50, it's pretty rough.
Yeah, the arm swing stays loose for the team that's ahead by 50. 30 is still, it might be a little bit tight because an open and a double can change things really quick, but you don't want to be down too many. Wittenberg, meanwhile, now strikes in the 7th, 8th, 9th.
And another one to start the
And can we say it? There's the ham bone for Wittenberg.
Even the coaches are all fired up here for Wittenberg-Burnhamwood. This is extraordinary. I don't know if I've seen a team with this much energy in a long time. Burlington trying to hang around with them, though. A split here in the 8th. They have a 126. Yeah, this one looking like it's getting a little out of hand in the Division II championship match.
Oh, they're Tried a new bowler, then 10th. She lost that one off her hand way right. That's all right.
But again, that's a good move because it's your first time getting into
Yep.
the match and just see what you can do. When you're up by this much, you have the comfort of being able to do that.
They're going to be up at least 60, regardless of what happens here on their fill ball on the 10th. So that's a great time to put a sub in, see what they've got. Maybe they got a better look, different reaction.
I got to say, the most I've ever seen come back in a 2-game total pin count, 77 I saw.
That's pretty amazing.
And that was on the lanes next to us in a conference championship game back in Division 1.
Wittenberg converts that spare to green and gold, shoot 211 in game number 1.
That's very impressive. And Indian Trail, not to be outdone, they've now got 3 in a row themselves in the 7th, 8th, and 9th. That's on top of a 110 in the 6th. So looking at a 200 right now here near the 9th frame. Waukesha West, meanwhile, misses a 10-pin, and it gets a little silent over here on the Waukesha West side of things. Not a lot going well for the program there.
Almost an 8-10 from Burlington.
Yeah, they sit with an 82 here in just the 6th frame. Not a lot of good balls thrown so far from Waukesha West.
We'll jump full screen for a frame or two here now. Indian Trail and Waukesha West is the other match is finishing up their 10th frame. They will wait for these ladies to get caught up. They're a few frames ahead.
Crossover strike nearly went for West. That's kind of break you're hoping to get.
Waukesha is actually a couple frames behind in this match here.
Yeah.
So,
They always say you want to keep alternating balls. You don't want to wait for the other team to finish a frame because it can throw off, especially when we saw Indian Trail striking several times in a row.
Sure.
It'll throw off your momentum to wait for the other team to finish their frame. So they say a lot of times in a format like this, just finish your game out and then rest at the end and let the other team catch up.
And that's kind of what we're seeing is Waukesha was throwing 2 balls a frame. Indian Trails throws 3 in a row real quick, and they get ahead by a couple frames. So bringing in another bowler here in the 10th frame for Indian Trails. 189 in the 9th, spare in the 10th. Fill ball gives him 209.
I got to say, Craig, it is a lot easier when you've got 4 distinctly different color schemes for all the teams here in the final. You can look around the alley and definitely tell who's got the most supporters here. And Wittenberg Burnhamwood, I think, is right up there. But a lot of purple for Indian Trail as well. A lot of green and gold I'm seeing up here behind you.
So 209 for Indian Trail. Very nice first game.
Did you see this on the spare here in the 8th frame for Waukesha West? They glaze the pin and it rattles back and forth, but remains standing. And that's
4-5.
When you talk about the breaks that you're not getting and when it's just not looking like it's going to be your match, that's the kind of thing you look at and you wonder if it's really your day or not.
Yeah, watching the replay on my laptop there. Boy, she wiggled it, just didn't have enough to knock it over. And you heard the gasp of the crowd like they thought she made it.
I couldn't believe she didn't knock it down.
So big shot here. Foundation frame of the 9th. They need this strike. Give their anchor bowler a chance. So they're going to shoot max score 159. So they're going to have at least a 50-pin deficit here going to game number 2 of the championship match.
And I don't know if we've seen a strike yet in this game from Waukesha West. To expect a turkey there in the 10th would be monumental.
Yeah, you might be correct. I'm not sure if they struck yet. They're just not quite finding the spot to get that ball where they need it to knock them all down.
You can see the Burlington team here over on lane 5. They're kind of amped up, dancing back and forth, trying to stay loose as they get set for game 2. Again, their totals over there. I'm going to wander around so I can see a good look at it. Yeah, Burlington trails by almost 50 pins. Well, actually,
59 pins.
59 pins. Yeah, almost 60, I meant to say. Not a math student in college, that's for sure.
That's all right.
59 pins Burlington trails by.
You know, we were talking a little bit earlier about there's not a whole lot the coach can do once they unleash it, but now for even like the Burlington coach or the Wittenberg coach, he needs to just keep his girls calm. They've got, a little bit of a break here before they start the last one. They've got a 59-pin lead. They were really amped up after that first game. Now just to keep them calm, let them know that they've still got one more game to go before they can hoist that trophy.
One of the things I always look for in these tournaments is, can a team carry their momentum from the day before into the following day? And we saw a couple teams win. Waukesha West was the winners last night in the step ladder. They advance today, and they make it here all the way to the championship match. The same with Burlington. Plymouth came in. They were off last night. Plymouth had to bye until today, and they come up short in that first match. Burlington carries the momentum from yesterday all the way into their championship match.
May not seem like it, but that was a big strike there in the 11th. Still give them a chance to shoot 159 to keep within 50.
Yeah, take a look at this. We naysay that they're not able to throw strikes, and they get a double here in the 10th. This is big.
There you go. How about 3? They're just proving you're wrong. Finish strong. Carry over. Crossover carry. All right, 9-8. So 157. 52 pin deficit.
52 for this one. Indian Trail.
And 59.
59 in the other match. Couple lopsided ones, it looks like here. But you never know.
I tell you what, now if you're down by 50, you got nothing to lose. Just start firing shots at the pocket, and maybe something happens. You start tripping a couple or get a break or two, and you never know what might happen to the arm swings of the opponents.
Indian Trail meeting over here on my left. I'm sure what their coach is telling them is, you can't let up. You have a comfortable lead, but the moment you get comfortable is the moment that the other team hops in and is able to capitalize on your mistakes. So I'm sure that's what Indian Trail is talking about. Meanwhile, Waukesha West. And, well, I guess this goes for all the teams here, for Wittenberg, Burnhamwood, and for Indian Trail. That's the conversation that I just said. Meanwhile, for Waukesha West and Burlington, you never know what can happen. Another team can suddenly collapse. If you just bowl your best, if you bowl a little above average, things could really work out into your favor. Second match is just underway. Now on lane 5, it's Burlington that starts with a spare after a split and an open from Wittenberg-Burnhamwood in the first frame. So there's the first chance for Burlington to claw their way back into it. Again, they trail by 59 starting that match on 5 and 6 for the D2 championship. Meanwhile, in D1, first ball of the game is a 9 count for Indian Trail. We'll see if they're going to be able to overcome. Or I should say, if Indian Trail can hang on to their 52 pin lead. First spare miss, so now a 7 pin remains for Waukesha West. We'll see if they can pick it up and if they can draw some blood. Again, we talked about how you got to try to come back after some momentum of the first game, and right now both teams with big leads open their first frames. And Wittenberg-Burnhamwood actually opened the second frame as well. Unfortunately for Burlington, trying to come back, they opened the second frame as well. Another 9 count for Indian Trail. And now Wittenberg-Burnhamwood, you heard the fans right behind you there, Craig. Every time there's a big shot over there, you hear about it.
I'll tell you what, I had to move about 8 feet to my right to format that memory card in the cameras that ran out of memory there. And it was about a 5-minute walk just to take a few steps over there. This place is packed.
Imagine if you had to go to the bathroom or walk to the other side of the lanes like a lot of these people did yesterday.
Yeah, absolutely.
Imagine if you're delivering food to some of these lanes. Good luck.
Yeah, you don't want to be a waitress in this bowling center here this afternoon or this weekend at all, that's for sure. So we've swapped lanes now. Indian Trail and Waukesha West. Indian Trail is up 52. But they open the first, spare the second, and Waukesha starts out spare double. So they're trying to cut in that lead really quick.
Yeah, some good momentum here for Waukesha West. We'll see how much ground they can pick up. So far, now Indian Trail's third ball, also a 9 count. That's 3 9 counts, 1 open, 1 spare. We'll see what they do here in the third. But if Waukesha West can throw some strikes together, I mean, they didn't become the they didn't get to the state championship for no reason.
And in the other match, Wittenberg opens the first and second frame. So we're getting some momentum shifts here.
Spare picked up for Indian Trail. And another spare picked up for Burlington as well. They have a 75 in the fourth with a spare in the fifth. So they're picking up on a little bit of ground against Wittenberg-Burnhamwood, but now a strike for that team as well in green and gold. So they have a 58 in the fourth with a spare in the strike. So after it's all said and done, not a whole lot of ground picked up after all.
It is getting tough to see the bowlers down there. All the teammates are crowded around them, and the coach is back there in front of the ball return. So we apologize for that. Getting the angles right. We're close. You can still see the pins going through the ball going through the pins down there. And a big split now for Wittenberg.
And now in the fourth frame here as well for Indian Trail, a 7 count on the first ball. Waukesha West with a 9 count. Hoping to pick up their spare. It's just the head pin that remains.
Tell you what, Burlington just picked up over 30 pins through the first 6 frames here with a big split for Wittenberg now.
That split kind of took away the
And she
strike.
didn't get count either. That's 4 costly pins there that may be very important.
And meanwhile, an open over here for Indian Trail in the fourth frame. They only have 54 right now in the fourth frame. Waukesha West picks up their spare in the fourth, so they're looking at having about 89. That's about a 35 pin turnaround. Again, Waukesha West was down 52 coming into this one. Waukesha West very much in this D1 championship game. And a strike there will help the Waukesha program. Meanwhile, Indian Trail, we saw how many strikes they had in their first game. They've yet to strike 4 spares and an open. I'm sorry, 3 spares, 2 opens through 5 frames. For Indian Trail, their coach gathers them together. They're kind of regrouping, talking about how they need to push to the finish here as Waukesha West picks up another strike. We could be in for a good one here.
We need a statistician here because there's way too much happening to figure out who's in the lead. Man, it's back and forth. These 50-pin deficits are getting chopped up like crazy.
Jot it down for next year, Craig. It's getting loud as Wittenberg Burnham Wood, they are starting to feel it. They're 3 in a row. Burlington with 3 in a row as well.
That is down to an 18-pin match now going into the 10th frame for Wittenberg and Burlington. Wittenberg still has a slight advantage.
Burlington shot. Here it's a strike
Burlington
and it
strikes
goes.
in the 10th.
Now can Wittenberg Burnham Wood answer that heading into the 10th frame? Their shot comes up light. It's a 7 count. Uh-oh.
We're going to jump over and go full screen because they're both in the 10th frame. They're 3 frames ahead of Division I final.
Waukesha West did just miss a single pin spare here in the 7th frame. Now they have 146 in the 7th, which still is significant. We'll have to catch the end of that one.
So if we give Wittenberg spare strike, gives a 179 with a 59-pin lead. That means Burlington would need 238 to tie.
Shot from Burlington. It came up high on the head pin, and it's a split on the second ball of the 10th frame. So now they can max out. Look at if they get the 2 for a 219.
Yeah, that spare is going to be enough. Yeah, max score 220, but they were down 59 pins. 6979.
And they're not going to get 220
41.
realistically. They'll end up with 219. It's just not quite going to be enough.
Not going to be quite enough. So on Division II side.
Looks like Wittenberg Burnham Wood going to be your Division II state champions.
Well, that got pretty close there, didn't it?
It did, and